Hello and welcome to the course of fiber optic communication. We'll be starting with the lecture 2 of fiber optic communication, where we'll study about the ray transmission theory. This is a modeling of ray transmission theory to understand how light rays are propagating through the fiber optic core. So we use two different kind of ray transmission modeling to understand the behavior of light, how it is traveling through the fiber optic core. One method is the ray transmission model, where we treat light as a ray and we deduce its effect and understand how light is traveling using the light ray models. Another method is to understand the behavior of the light, taking into account its electromagnetic property. So there are two models of understanding how light is propagating through fiber optic core. One is the ray transmission model, and a second one is the electromagnetic model. So today we'll start with the ray transmission model, and we'll see that how this light is propagating through the fiber optic core or the fiber optic waveguide. So first we'll understand how the fiber optic waveguide is designed, and what is the architecture, or what is this design of this fiber optic core, and how does it looks like, and what is it made of, so that we can implement our light ray model to understand the propagation of light through this waveguide. So generally, it is a dielectric waveguide structure through which light is transmitted, and it is generally look like this waveguide structure looks like this, where we have a transparent cladding and the transparent core, which are of two different refractive indexes. So if you see this figure, where we have a small dimension of a core region which is actually transparent and hollow, which is surrounded again by a transparent cladding material. Both of them are made up of silica glass, and both of them are transparent glass material. Now, the difference between the core and the cladding is that the core has a refractive index, or it is made up of a material which has a refractive index higher than the refractive index of the cladding. And this is the basic necessity of the fiber optic cable or fiber optic core, that we should maintain the refractive index of the core greater than the refractive index of the cladding. And while transmitting this light through this fiber optic core, we will always want that our light ray traverse only through the core region. It does not leak or does not go out through the cladding region. So if there is any leakage of light to the cladding region, that means we are losing the information that we are transmitting. So this is a very essential necessary property of this fiber optic waveguide, that the core and the cladding region should have a refractive index, where the core refractive index will be greater than the cladding refractive index, and we will also maintain that the light ray that we are transmitting through the fiber optic core should not leak into the cladding region. So we will also take into account animation to understand this behavior. So as you see here, we have a buffer coating in this region, this brown portion, and this glass region is a core region which is hollow, through which we want our light to travel, and this is again surrounded by a cladding region which is again a glass material. this whole core and cladding, they are sensitive, and hence it is put through a case of jacket. So here we see a different number of multiple optical cables, each are differentiated by different color codes, and this fiber optic cable is put into different optical optical jackets, which acts as insulator, as well as it acts as a protective sheet which protects this fiber optic cable from getting affected. Because since these are very sensitive and micrometer width of fiber optic cable, which are made of silica glass, so we do not want that it gets damaged. So to protect this glass from bending, from moisture, from heat, and also from scratches, we always put it under different insulators and protective sheet. So this is how a fiber optic cable looks like. Now moving on to understand the behavior of light which is propagating through this our fiber optical waveguide. We take the first model, which is known as the ray transmission theory model. Now in school physics, we all have studied about light, and the basic equation which defines light is the Snell's law. So here we will consider that Snell's law to understand the behavior of light traveling through this optical model. Now, according to Snell's law, it says that if any light which is incident from a high refractive index material to a low refractive index material, it will refract with a angle which is greater than the angle of incidence. Okay, now this is what we have studied in school physics about the light rays. Now, considering the case that defines this phenomena of refraction, we see that we have made our optical fiber or the fiber optic waveguide with two different refractive index, and we are keeping the refractive index of the core very high, whereas the refractive index of the cladding region low compared to the core region. Now, if this is the criteria of designing a fiber optic waveguide, then according to this phenomena, which is depicted here, that if any light ray which is incident from a high refractive index material to a low refractive index material, it will refract into the low refractive index material with an angle greater than the angle of incidence. So what does it mean in the language of fiber optic core? That means if we are taking, if we are taking any fiber optic core like this, which is surrounded by a cladding, okay. So now, if I am transmitting a light, okay, and this has a higher refractive index compared to the cladding region. So if I cannot design or I cannot pump the light in a certain angle, then what will happen? This light ray, due to the phenomena of Snell's law, will refract into the cladding region. And obviously we don't want that the light ray which is incident into the core will refract or will leak into the cladding region, because if this happens, then we are actually losing the information or losing the signal that we are going to transmit. So we have to keep in mind that whatever be the phenomena or whatever be the condition, we must see that our light or the information or the light ray that we are giving into the fiber optic core, it should be reflected back within the core, and the light always remains inside the core only. It does not refract out. Now, to make this happen, if we take this example of a glass and air, so here glass has a high refractive index compared with the air. And what is happening here is that if a light ray is incident on the edge of the glass and air, and it gets refracted to the air medium with an angle greater than the angle of incidence. So using this law, we must find that what is the minimum angle of incidence at which the light ray will fall into this edge, that it gets completely reflected back and none of the light ray are lost into the cladding region. So from this basic idea or the basic knowledge of physics which defines Snell's law, we'll try to figure out that what should be the angle of incidence and what should be the angle of incidence that we will maintain to propagate the light through the core region and it does not get lost into the cladding region. So to define that, we have considered that the refractive index of the core is given by N1 as depicted here, and the refractive index of and the angle of incidence is phi 1. Similarly, we have considered the refractive index of the cladding region or the glass region as N2, and the refractive index and the angle of refraction as phi 2, where phi 2 is greater than phi 1 and N2 is less than N1. So this is the condition that we have created, and depending on this, we can define the Snell's law of refraction, which says that N1 sine phi 1, that means refractive index of the high refractive index of the glass material multiplied with the sinusoidal angle of the incidence, which will be equal to the refractive index of the air medium multiplied with the sinusoidal angle of the refraction. So this is what the Snell's law tells us about the angle of refraction. Now from this we are going to achieve the minimum angle of incidence or we can say the minimum angle of incidence at which the light should fall inside the core region so that it gets transmitted without losing the light into the cladding region and gets propagated throughout the core region. So from this equation, we can write that that sine phi 1 is divided by sine phi 2, which is related to N2 by N1. Now, to make light propagate through the core region completely without losing any information, what we want is that light should be reflected inside the core instead of refraction. Okay, so considering the glass diagram again, so if this is the light ray which is falling into the edge of the air and glass medium, what we want is that glass should be reflected back into the glass medium instead of getting refracted out. So we do not want the refraction to occur, but what we want is that this light ray should be retained within the glass medium. So in talking this about in the sense of fiber optic core, we will always want that if this is the fiber optic core, this light ray should always be retained within this fiber optic core region, or it gets reflected back and forth into the core region every time, and we should not lose any of the light ray into the cladding region. So to make this happen, we should find that what is the angle of incidence that should be maintained, and that angle of incidence is known as the critical angle. So what we find is that when the angle of refraction is 90 degree, now you see here the diagram, if the angle of refraction is 90 degree, then only we can achieve that the total internal reflection or the reflection inside the glass medium. That means none of the light is refracted to the air medium or lost into the air medium, but it is reflected back into the medium where initially this light ray is incident. Okay, so this light ray is incident into the glass medium, and again it is retained back or reflected back and retained within the glass medium. So to make this happen, we see that if the angle of refraction becomes 90 degree, then only we can achieve this complete reflection. Now, how did this is happening? This is happening in a way is that if you go back to this equation, so angle of refraction is given by phi 2. So if this becomes 90 degree, so sine phi 2, if this becomes 90 degree, then we can say that since sine 90 degree is 1, so we can say that this becomes sine phi 1, which is equals to n2 by n1, and we can achieve total internal reflection or complete reflection back. So the idea is, from this equation we can write that this, when angle of refraction becomes 90 degree, we can write this as sine phi c, or the critical angle that we should maintain, that should be maintained to achieve the complete internal reflection inside the core region. So when this angle of incidence, or when the light ray which is falling in the glass material achieves this critical angle, or is maintaining this critical angle is maintained when the light is falling into the glass edge, then we will always achieve total internal reflection. So this is the basic necessity according to the ray transmission model, that we should always maintain critical angle of incidence if we want complete reflection in the glass medium. Okay, so to maintain to send light or to propagate light through the core medium, we see that we need to have a critical angle to maintain, which will allow the light to reflect back and forth inside the core region, and it will reach to the receiver side. So how this total internal reflection works? So now a total internal reflection, as we have seen, that the light is falling from a higher refractive index to a lower refractive index, and when a light falls from a higher refractive index to a lower refractive index, it is bound to get refracted out. But to make this refraction not to happen, what we do is we have to maintain a critical angle which will make angle of refraction as 90 degree, and we can achieve total internal reflection inside the core region. So this we see in the diagram, that when this angle of incidence is maintaining the critical angle, so this phi here and this phi here, these are all maintaining critical angle. Similarly, this angle here, this angle here, they are all maintaining critical angle. And what we see here is that incident light which is incident on the high index core. Now this is a fiber optic waveguide. This is a fiber optic waveguide where this portion is your core, which is surrounded by a cladding region. Okay, now the cladding region has a low refractive index. So what we see here, that when a light ray is incident on the high refractive index medium with angle which is maintaining the critical angle, the light is completely reflected back, and again it falls into the edge of the core cladding region, and again it maintains the critical angle, then again it gets totally reflected, and this way this light is reflected back and forth inside the core region, and it reaches the end of the fiber optic core. So this is how, using the ray transmission model, we can find that if the light ray maintains the critical angle when it is incident on the fiber optic core, then it will automatically get totally internally reflected and propagate through the fiber optic core. To understand this phenomena better, we'll see animation which shows this phenomena. So here so here light ray theta c is refracted here. Now here we have a core and air interface. So here we get a little bit of a refraction, and it falls again in this part with angle of incidence which is maintaining the critical angle, and gets again reflected back here. So here again it is again maintaining the critical angle and gets totally internally reflected. So this is how we see here. This is how we see the light is reflected in a zigzag manner towards the core. So since the cladding is not getting, or any light ray is not getting leaked out to the cladding region, so we see that maintaining this critical angle, we are transmitting the light rays actually towards the end of the fiber core by maintaining this total internal reflection. So this is what the ray theory model, by studying the ray theory model, we have seen the first thing about the total internal reflection, that if we have designed a fiber optic core with a high refractive index core and a low refractive index cladding, we should maintain the angle of incidence at a critical angle, which makes the angle of refraction as 90 degree, so that the light which is incident on the core region gets totally internally reflected and follows a total internal reflection zigzag path throughout the core to reach the fiber optic end. So this is what the ray model says us, and we have studied this lecture. So this lecture only introduces the ray transmission model. Apart from this critical angle, we have other properties also, or other parameters also, which should be maintained to follow this critical angle, or to maintain this critical angle, and to propagate light using total internal reflection. Those properties and those parameters we'll discuss in the next lecture. So this lecture discusses only about, or introduces about, the ray transmission model and the total internal reflection and critical angle. So thank you for watching this lecture. We'll discuss the other parameters of the ray transmission model in next class. So thank you, everyone.